Imagine holding a single coin in your hand, a coin that has passed through generations, witnessed political shifts, economic struggles, and national transformation. A coin that jingled in the pockets of students, workers, jeepney drivers, and overseas Filipinos alike. Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating history of one of the Philippines' most iconic coins, the 10 peso coin, beginning with its 1979 release and following its long journey toward becoming the modern bimetallic symbol of Philippine currency. This is not just the story of metal and minting. This is the story of a nation. To understand the 1979 10 peso coin, we must first step into the Philippines of the late 1970s. The country was under the Marcos administration, a time marked by sweeping political control, ambitious infrastructure projects, and deep economic challenges. Inflation was rising, the peso was losing strength, and the cost of everyday goods was steadily climbing. Coins that once represented significant value were no longer enough. The Philippine monetary system needed higher denomination coins, something durable, practical, and symbolic of national strength. Thus, the stage was set for a new coin. In 1979, the Banco Central in Pilipinas introduced the 10 Cuban pesos coin as part of the Ang Bagong Lipunan, the new society coin series. At the time, this was a major leap forward. 10 pesos was not pocket change, it was a meaningful amount, capable of buying meals, transportation, or daily necessities. This coin was meant to replace banknotes that wore out quickly in circulation. Design and composition. The 1979 10 peso coin was a large and heavy, struck primarily in copper nickel, a solid silver grey in appearance, built for durability and authority. This was a coin meant to be felt in the hand. Obverse, a political statement. The obverse proudly displayed Ferdinand E. Marcos, President of the Philippines. This made the coin one of the few Philippine coins to feature a living political leader, a controversial choice even at the time. Above or around the portrait appeared Air Republica in Pilipinas, in the year 1979. This design reflected the ideology of the era, centralized power, nationalism, and the image of a new society. Reverse, value and authority. The reverse was simple yet commanding. A large numeral 10, the word peso, and national symbols reinforcing legitimacy. No distractions, the message was clear. This coin meant value. Chapter 3. How the people received the coin. Public reaction was mixed. For many Filipinos, the 10 peso coin was impressive and practical. It reduced the need for fragile paper notes and fit perfectly into everyday commerce. For others, it was controversial. Some criticized the political symbolism, the unusually large size, the association with authoritarian rule. Yet, love it or hate it, the coin circulated widely. It rode jeepneys. It passed through markets. It paid for rice, fare, and school supplies. It became part of daily Filipino life. As the 1980s approached, inflation continued to rise. What 10 Cuban pesos could buy in 1979 slowly decreased in value. The coin remained important, but its purchasing power shrank. By the mid-1980s, new denominations were needed. Coin production costs became an issue. The old 10 peso design felt outdated. The Philippines was changing, politically, economically, socially, and so would its currency. By the late 1980s and early 1990s, the 1979 10 peso coin was gradually phased out of prominence. Political shifts following the people power. Revolution of 1986 reshaped national identity. Coins featuring political leaders fell out of favor. New designs focused on heroes, culture, and shared heritage. The 10 peso denomination survived, but its form would evolve. Despite changes, one thing remained clear. 10 Cuban pesos was still a perfect coin denomination. A high enough to be useful, a low enough for daily transactions, are ideal for mass circulation. The Banco Central in Pilipinas revisited the 10 peso concept, but this time with modern technology and global standards in mind. The solution? A bimetallic coin. Years later, the Philippines introduced the bimetallic 10 Cuban pesos coin. a design that finally balanced a security, a durability, a modern aesthetics, a national symbolism. This new coin featured two different metals, a distinct gold-colored center, a silver-colored outer ring. The design instantly stood out. It was harder to counterfeit, easier to recognize, and visually striking. The bimetallic 10 Piso coin honored a national heroes, a Filipino identity, a democratic values. Gone were portraits of living leaders. In their place stood symbols of unity, sacrifice, and history. The coin represented a Philippines looking forward, not backward. When you compare the 1979 10 Piso coin with the modern bimetallic version, the contrast is powerful. 1979 coin, modern bimetallic coin. Single metal, two metal security. Political portrait, national heroes. Heavy and large, compact and modern. Authoritarian era, democratic era. Yet both share one thing. They served the Filipino people. Today, the 1979 10 Piso coin holds special value among collectors. Factors affecting its price include a condition, a mint quality, a historical interest, a political significance. While it is not extremely rare, high-grade specimens can command respectable prices in auctions. Collectors value it not just as currency, but as history frozen in metal. The 1979 10 Piso coin is more than an old piece of money. It tells us how economies adapt, how politics influence design, how nations express identity through currency. Every scratch, every worn edge, every faded detail speaks of hands it passed through and stories it witnessed. From the heavy copper-nickel coin of 1979 to the sleek bimetallic 10 Piso of today, this denomination reflects the journey of the Philippines itself. Change, resilience, reinvention. So next time you hold a 10 Piso coin, remember, you're not just holding money, you're holding history. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Philippine coin history, like the video, comment your thoughts or memories. Subscribe for more untold stories hidden in coins. Because every coin has a story, and this one is unforgettable.